was happy to see he didn't hit the floor.
That's the last thing that the Knicks need.
This guy's really coming on strong this year, too, and he's excited the Knicks fans with his style.
Well, he's excited the fans here with his dunking.
That miss doesn't go against him. You can have 2 misses before they count.
And to re-emphasize, the scoring is by round. It's not cumulative. It does not go on from round to round. So the 2 highest scorers in this second round will move on to our finals. And 3 dunks for each contestant here in the second round. And that's going to be a little costly for Wilkins. He is down to his final opportunity. He cannot afford another miss. And this happened to him in that first round, John, and he had to go very conservative on his last dunk.
Well, this allowing of misses, Rick, is good because it encourages guys to be creative and go for some wild stuff. But as you say, he's now out of chances. He's got to make this.
The bigger problem, too, is he's used up his legs a lot with those extra tries.
Stayed with it. Nice dunk, but a tough act to follow after.
Well, Spud Webb kind of set the scene, I would say.
He created some pressure.
There we go, a little slow motion. Not quite the style of and the flair of his older brother.
That's one you want when you know you're ahead and you have to put something up that's pretty good.
37 for Gerald. And Terrence Stansbury, of course, we mentioned the surprise of last year's competition on his home floor in Indianapolis. You can see that he's still, of course, you know, carrying that entourage along with him. We talk about the timing, John, about Spud Webb.
Yes.
You can see what can happen.
Makes you appreciate Webb's move so much more.
And now, I don't want to remind you, John, but you did say that you didn't think Spud had a realistic chance of winning.
Right. I really didn't. I'll stay with it. Thanks, Rick.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Oh, we got another round to go here. Stansbury, let's see if he goes to his Statue of Liberty. Boy, he gets up, doesn't he? Puts it off the backboard and then meets it at the top of the leaf there.
Again, showing the great versatility and the timing of these terrific athletes. The concentration and the perfect timing.
Look at him hang there. Terrence Stansbury at 6'5", and look, his head is almost up at the rim.
Well, you saw his head was up near the bottom of the backboard. Now, when Julius Erving hit his head on the basket up in Denver, they started thinking about changing the backboard. And so this year, that backboard is 6 inches shorter underneath, just for that reason we just showed you. Had it been 6 inches lower that time, Stansbury would have hit his head on the bottom of the backboard. So for safety factors, the NBA has instilled that shorter backboard, and it's working. I never had that problem.
You were two-handed stuffer, weren't you?
No, I never had that problem, John, believe me.
Spud has a flair for the dramatic, as you can see. He measures the floor, and you know his confidence is really building now, and he feels he can take time.
And the first error on the part of Spud Webb. He has been absolutely awesome here in Dallas, and the crowd. Few murmurs here. He has 2 more opportunities. It seemed to me, John, that he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do that time. Of course, not being able to palm the ball is a big disadvantage.
He's in good shape, though, now, Rick. I think he can do something sort of conservative, and that appears what he's going to do.
Very conservative.
It's conservative, but it still wins people, and probably the judges, because you're just reminded over and over again that the guy is 5'7".
When you look and you see the bottom of his feet and how far they are off the ground, it is impressive.
Now I wonder, as this thing moves along, if he will show fatigue.
Well, let's watch again. Spud Webb on a rather conservative dunk, but look how far out he took off. That's the one element that should be taken into consideration in the scoring. He still gets 42 points.
Well, he's going to blow away the argument that a lot of people have when they say they're too small to play basketball, isn't he?
And here's our defending champion.
Now, he's got some pressure on him. He's got to get creative all the way.
Okay, I think he must have heard you, John.
I'll tell you, if that's not a 4-9 or a 5-0, I'll be surprised.
Again, the flair, the creativity, and the power. He has all of the elements that you would kind of ask for in a dunker, and he really takes pride in what he does.
Look at this. Over the head.
Double clutch over the head with power, and another angle.
I mean, how does he know where the basket is? He can't see it here.
Look at his head, right up. His head was at rim level.
Great move.
Not only horizontal, but vertical
Oh,
leap
he's
as
unhappy.
well.
He's unhappy.
47.
I'm surprised. Judges are tough this year, Rick. I was a judge last year. We were much more lenient. I thought that was a higher number myself.
And Wilkins putting down the mark on the floor that he would like to take off from, which is right at the free throw line, so that he could spot it several steps further out. And so he's going to try the dunk that Julius Erving made famous, which is the full court running one-handing swoop shot taking off from the free throw line. So let's see if Gerald Wilkins can pull it off. Reminder, he cannot miss. He missed his steps, John. It seemed about 15 feet from the line. He had to regroup himself, and I think that cost him.
He wanted to take off at the foul line too. Gerald Wilkins is really about 6'5", and Julius has a little more height on him. He's a great leaper, but he may have to go in a little bit, not take off from the foul line, but go in about 6 inches.
And see, he was getting ready to dunk again, and they're reminding him of the rules. As we said, he really cannot take another opportunity. He had 2 misses on that so round. He gets the maximum he could score now is a 5 on that.
Yes, he's still on the second round.
Only allowed 2 misses per round, so Gerald Wilkins will not get another opportunity, and that's going to cost him dearly.
And each player gets 3 dunks each on the second round.
So Gerald comes up with the maximum of 25, and that will basically put him out of the competition. But here comes Terrence Stansbury, and he was nowhere near it on that particular move. Took off even behind the mark.
The temptation is so great to leave at the foul line, as Michael Jordan did last year, as Julius does. And guys want to stay with that, but it's a long way to the hoop. 15 feet or so, isn't it right?
That's the problem. That's what they say. He's a little bit behind, as you see, and he just didn't get the elevation that was necessary. Very easy to sit here and criticize this, John, right? Let's just say critique it. Here he goes with his second effort. And that time he took off inside the free throw line, and you notice the difference in the result.
Nice dunk. I have to remind people that these fellows are competing for $12,000 in first prize money. $7,500 to the second place man, $55,000 to third place, and $2,500 to the fourth place finisher.
There's Stansbury. There's the step just inside the free throw area, but now he got the height, and on the way down takes it home.
A score of 39.
39 for Stansbury.
Tough judges. That was a high-ranking dunk, I thought. Wonder who the culprit is. Staubach?
I don't know. Bill Russell keeps waving a finger at Sad Sanders. Spud Webb with his third try in the second round. And again, with a miss on this first try.
See, what Spud has done, he did his creative stuff in that first round and the earlier part of the second round. Now he seems to be running out of creativity.
Well, when you can't palm the ball and you don't have big hands, it really limits.
That's right. Everything's two-handed.
Let's see what Spud comes up with. He goes back to the double clutch move.
That gets him. Boy, the crowd loves him. He's a hometown guy here in Dallas.
And a look at that dunk from our Midgie cam.
All right. His features became much clearer, I noticed, as he got up higher.
It was tougher breathing, though.
Just to show you how high he gets up.
Spud Webb, and that should certainly move him into the final round of competition. And our defending champion, Dominique Wilkins, a man who has become such an outstanding all-around player this year, has really blossomed into a superstar.
That's his bread and butter.
Well, he knew he could get into the finals with a reasonably decent score, and he was taking no chances. He's saving the big stuff for his 2 dunks in the finals. Here it goes again.
Interesting, Gerald Wilkins, look at that beautiful reverse again. Gerald Wilkins, Dominique's brother, is not going to the chair move here in the second round.
A score of 45.
45 for Dominique.
Gracious competitor Dominique is.
He's really a terrific young man. I really enjoy talking with him, and expresses himself quite well, and a very intelligent young man who you have to give credit when a young man knows what his weaknesses are and works at them.
Gerald Wilkins has used up all of his misses, so that attempt will count.
And that takes care of Gerald Wilkins. The ruling now that he did have one more opportunity left.
Gerald tried that foul line takeoff move, one-handed slam. Fell a little short.
A score of 25 for Gerald Wilkins. Now
Again, he gets a 25.
Way up there, isn't he, though? But he just left the ground a little too early.
And our fourth and final competitor here in the semifinals, Terrence Stansbury.
Oh,
now there's creativity.
We said it. I think he did that one last year, too. Catches the ball. Then
Double clutch move. Through the midgie-cam. Throw it up, catch it. Little double clutch move, take it down and bring it back.
That's
outstanding. That should certainly, I would think, another angle from behind Stansbury. Marvelous move.
You know, we have the benefit here of the second look at it, and it's 1 point from perfection for Terrence Stansbury. So the judges really saw that one well.
They tied each with 138 total points.
With totals of 138 points, our two finalists are defending. Well, first Spud Webb, the local favorite, came from the Dallas area, and the defending champion, Dominique Wilkins. So it's an Atlanta Hawk final.
Isn't that great? Boy, that goes along with their season, doesn't it?
All right, and we are going to be back with the start of the second half of the Legends game, and stay tuned for all of the excitement in front of that. And then John and I will be back later with the finals of the Slam Dunk Championship. Okay, John, this is it. The moment everyone's been waiting for to select the champion of the Slam Dunk this year, the Gatorade Slam Dunk, Spud Webb. Now, what do you think of his chances?
Well, I think they've improved greatly. Now, 2 dunks on the final round instead of 3.
Without being able to palm the ball.
Out of sight. Out of sight.
The partisan crowd holding up their scores of 10. Let's see what the judges come up with. There's a good look at the Spud man, and they give him a 50. Now Dominique is going to have to reach into his bag of tricks, I think, John.
He knows what a 50 takes.
Here's Spud again. 360.
Now the man can't palm it, but he did a one-handed dunk because he was up so high.
Back live, Dominique Wilkins missing his first opportunity. Remember, he is allowed a miss.
That's the pressure showing itself.
Now that was a 360 move that was rather impressive also.
Heck of a dunk, but you know the crowd has to influence the judging. I just feel that. And that's a great one. And that's a 50 in many situations.
Well, let's see what the judges come up with. Let's see if they take into account that he did miss the first time. Oh, they didn't, John.
Right.
Well, you hit that one right on the head, John.
You see that the judges weren't affected by the lack of crowd response to Dominique.
Let's see if Spud goes for the fake shot, the long ball that he did in the second round.
Final dunk now.
Was there, he couldn't quite handle the ball, but yet very creative.
Yes, he was on the verge of a 50.
If he does not come through, and should he lose, he will remember that miss for the rest of his life, I guarantee you. That would have put tremendous pressure on Dominique Wilkins. Let's see what Spud comes up with.
This is really exciting, isn't it? This is great.
Spud Webb comes through in the clutch to put the pressure on Dominique.
This is so great. I mean, here's a couple of teammates. They live together for 7-8 months a year, and now they're going at each other. Great feeling.
And another 50 for Spud Webb.
Now the pressure's on the judges.
Dominique Wilkins.